What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn, and we are on the Flip with Rick channel. And today we're talking about being lazy. And I've got a lot of information for you on this. So we've all fell victim to this at one point or another. And honestly, in 2024, unfortunately, this is running rampant, and there is no exception in wholesaling. So if you struggle with this, or you want a hack code on how to fight through it, because we all got a lazy gene in us. We got lazy boys, we got lazy people, we got lazy kids. And in 2024, it's absolutely scary. And I'm actually going to go in past the rudimentary, like, hey, just get up and get work done, because it's easy to say. It's a whole nother thing to come up with a plan and get it done. So what I want to do is basically unmask the reasoning behind lazy, why it exists. And then most importantly is how you can apply and get rid of it in wholesaling. But you're going to have to commit. You're going to have to give me an hour and a half here, and we're going to get to this done. Honestly, if you struggle with this, I know I've struggled with it in the past. You're probably lying to yourself. You're saying, oh, that's not me. Let's just figure it out. It's okay to be lazy, to relax on a holiday weekend or relax with your loved ones at night. But I'm telling you, man, if you commit and you're just always lazy, it's going to be a disaster. Listen, the reality of life, guys, is you can pick which hard you want. And this is all going to tie into it. And you can have a life of leisure right now, meaning you don't have a lot of money, but you can do whatever you want. I promise you, you're going to get so bored with it. You're going to become so complacent and so broke that it's going to be massively problematic for you, to the point where you want to go on the other side. And you're thinking, like, what about all these people that work so hard and they seem to give up so much because they have a destination they want to go to? I want to show you how to get there today. This isn't, as I said, your usual talk. I want to show you how to get this done. So this is live as usual. I think it's, what is it? It's 1:19 p.m. Eastern time on, what is it? December 3rd. And so we're going into 2025. If you got this problem, number one, you need to identify it. And you got to be brutally honest with yourself. And you're going to have to hold yourself accountable. So let's get into it. Guys, make sure you use the comments, introduce yourselves, let us know what market you're in. And let's talk about this, and then we'll take some questions after this whole thing. So we talk about lazy. And if you ever figured out, here's a statement I'm going to give you right now. Let me just double check something in my settings here. Audio. Okay, we're good. Okay. I actually do business while I do the live stream. I know that's a crazy concept for somebody on the internet, but listen, lazy and wholesaling do not work together, and actually they fight against each other. How do I know this? Because I see you guys all the time with this problem. It is what we call an oxymoron, which means if you're lazy and you want to do wholesaling, don't even bother. If you cannot change your ways and you're stuck. Now, if you go, hey, dude, I'm lazy, but I think wholesaling would give me the spark I need in my life, and I want to change, I don't want to be complacent, then this live stream's for you, and we can show you how to break that down. So understanding, if you put these two words together, they make no sense together. And that's what we have to separate. By the end of this live stream, I'm going to teach you why lazy is going to cost you so much money. Did you know lazy is one of the most expensive attitudes to have in all of life? It means you just don't get anything done. In fact, you ever wonder what the definition of lazy is? I have it. It's a little bit explicit, so I'm not going to share it with you. But here's the reality of it. Ready? The definition of is lazy is lack of effort or exertion. Makes perfect sense, right? Now, here's the really cool part. I've never met a lazy person that doesn't have a ton of knowledge in their head. Why? Maybe they sit around and watch TV all day. I have no idea. But the reality is, it's just lack of effort. I think that is the best one. Call it lack of exertion, whatever it is. But if we know what lazy is, then number one, we can identify it. And number two, we can go, okay, as long as I don't do that pattern, I won't be lazy. And we have to understand that. Now, I'm going to pop up something on the screen, and I want you guys to honestly, I mean, brutally, honestly answer the question, because laziness hides in a lot of different areas, especially for wholesaling. God knows I found every one of these problems. And I'm telling you right now, if you do not address this, understand it. A lot of you say, Rick, I'm consuming the information. I'll eventually take action. Probably the number one I hear right now, analysis by paralysis. Do you know what that means when you tell me that? It means you can't find a way to tell yourself the truth. The truth is you're scared to death, and it makes you wildly uncomfortable to move forward with wholesaling because you're scared of rejection. You're scared you might fail, and you're scared you might look like an idiot and might not work out. Let's just get it out in the open, because when you say analysis by paralysis, this is a skill set that's been taught to you your entire life. And now you're going to take that same excuse and you're going to throw it in wholesaling. And I'm here to tell you, every industry has this problem. I think wholesaling is one of the worst. If you're using analysis by paralysis as your excuse, I don't know what to do. I'm analysis paralysis. It means you're scared. You're wildly uncomfortable. You fear rejection, and the undetermined outcome has frozen you. So now that you know what you're saying to yourself, and let me know in the comments if that's because this is the truth. And here's what I've learned, guys. In my 55 years on this beautiful planet Earth, I will tell you this. When I was much younger, anything that scared me, I ran from it. In fact, most people you're going to run to in life, if it scares them, they just repel. Here's the trick to life. I know this is going to be a painful, painful statement, but it's true. Whatever scares you, run into it, lean into it, take it on. That is the key to life. Because eventually, if you run from everything, you're going to be pinned into the corner and you'll get nothing done in your life. And so why would wholesaling be any different? If you've committed to go, hey, this is going to change my life. Someone's got to make the change in my family. I've got to make it happen. And you've decided wholesaling is your vehicle, which is already proven, it's legal, you know everything about it, then you're going to have to do things that's going to make you uncomfortable, scared, and you're going to get rejected. Now, you can tiptoe around it. Instead of doing your 200 cold calls, you can do 20 of them. And you go, well, I need to study up more. And I'm here to tell you, this is the problem with analysis by paralysis. It is nothing more than a crazy ass excuse you came up with. And you're just by saying analysis by paralysis, you're acknowledging. What are you actually acknowledging? Here's the truth. All this saying is just a form of procrastination. And I want you to understand, almost all forms of procrastination are a sign you are scared, wildly uncomfortable. You have no idea what's on the other side, and you rather stay on the side where you know the outcome's determined. So if you know you don't do wholesaling and you know your job is failing you, but you know the education system's failing you, and in a way your parents, let's be brutally honest, why on earth do you want to stay there? People rather stay in their own misery just out of the predictability of it. That's how crazy life is. And if you've determined your parents haven't steered you wrong, they still love you. Don't get me wrong. Maybe they don't. I don't know. The school system definitely has not helped you out. If anything, I promise you it screwed you up. College, 10 times worse, in my opinion. And you've tried the traditional route and none of it's worked. But you use analysis paralysis to stay in your current situation. Think of the oxymoron of that. And what I'm telling you, if you don't like things, take it head on. Most people in life run like hell when they have a problem. Let me give an example. As a child, I was horrified by the dentist. Everything was painful. Everything was a surprise on me. They just stuck me in a chair. I had no idea I was going to the dental office. And honestly, that fear took over to me until my early 30s. And at some point I sat down and I said, if someone just explained to me that the dentist is trying to help me, trying to make me look better, trying to make me more healthy, and trying to give me a positive look on life, meaning your smile and everything, I probably would have dealt with it differently. But I had different mentors in my life. I was just taught to run from everything. And a lot of my life, schooling, everything, I know a lot of you guys can relate with this. I use the dentist because this day I'm not crazy about the dentist, but I know if I don't go to the dentist twice a year, I'm going to have other issues. So I don't know, as a child at the dentist, man, it was just like my mom would just throw me in the car. I had no idea. I'd usually throw my brother in there. And then we walk in, it's just like these sharp instruments and these bright lights and all. It was just pain. It was absolutely terrible. So I just want you to understand how it works. So this is the big secret. Procrastination is hidden in analysis by paralysis. And I want you to understand your procrastination, when you do analysis by paralysis, or you say, I need to educate myself more. I'm all about education, and we're going to talk about that specifically in wholesaling. But what you got to understand is your procrastination is your pacifier. I'm just going to be brutally graphic here. Instead of using a pacifier like you did as a baby to soothe yourself when you're uncomfortable, which is part of what the pacifier, it's soothing. It's supposed to replicate something. I'm not going to get into graphics of it. But as an adult, you're using analysis paralysis as your new procrastination pacifier. So if I was really mean, I'd throw a graphic on here and show a baby sucking on a pacifier. You need to pull that pacifier out of your mouth and you need to wake up. So once again, if you've made the decision of wholesaling, if you're still exploring and explore it, and that's what we're all about here, go to freewholesaling.com. We'll share the truth. You don't have to whip out a credit card. You don't have to do any of this stuff. All the gurus insist that you have to do. So we need to get that pacifier out of your mouth. So if we know that most laziness is some form of procrastination, why do people procrastinate? Listen, in life, you got a choice. You can make a hard decision, yes or no. And then you will go one way or the other. But people rather option it. You know how they option it? They procrastinate. They never make a decision. If you don't make a decision, you made a decision. I know I beat that to death. So I'm going to share with you a couple little secrets on laziness and how it works against you, especially in our business. And I'm hoping this is a little bit eye-opening for you. And hopefully you'll see by the end of this why you don't want to do it. More importantly, how to avoid it. So number one, marketing exploits lazy people. Why? Because they want everything done for them. Listen, a big part of wholesaling is we help people out that just can't solve problems that just got out of control in their life. Guys, all the time I deal with people that haven't paid their tax bill, their property tax. I got people that haven't paid their mortgage one way or the other. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe they're just really bad money managers. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is wholesaling is about convenience to people. Let's just be brutally honest, that have gotten behind in life. Now, some people have had tough stuff happen to them, death, divorce, stuff like that. But like for the most part, a lot of people, they just don't want to deal with it. How do I know this? One of the best indications as a wholesaler when you're dealing with a motivated seller and you reach out to call them back, whatever it is, maybe you're doing outbound calling. If their voicemail is full, I guarantee you procrastination runs rapidly in their life and it's some form of laziness. Now, you should get excited when you have full mailboxes because if you can't delete the voicemails with a click of a button, probably the rest of your life is going to be a train wreck. I noticed this over 15 years ago. And the minute, one of the key things that identify a motivated seller in my CRM, in my ninja mode, is somebody that's got a full voicemail. That's like having 5 lists stacked together. Why? Because they just don't have time to deal with anything. That means they're probably not paying their mortgage. They're probably not taking care of the house, and they most definitely haven't paid their property taxes. Don't believe me? Run the numbers. I've done this for almost 22 years now, and I identify patterns. All we do as wholesalers is identify patterns, and we move very forward. Now, they are a pain in the butt to get a hold of them because they got to answer the phone live. But like I've always I used to have my acquisitions people come to me like, hey, the guy's voicemail's full. I'm like, let's get in the car and go over there. We always walked away with a contract. What I'm getting at is marketing exploits lazy people. Now, here's the secret. I'm talking about us as wholesalers on how we solve these problems for people. We're not exploiting it. We just offer a service. Nobody has to do business with us if they don't. Now, I want you to understand, if you're lazy and you're considering wholesaling, here is the disconnect you're going to have. Okay. And this is where they're going to turn the tables on you. So we got to understand what the lazy trap is. And here's how the lazy trap works. By now, and this is the first time you've heard me. My name is Rick Ginn. I've been wholesaling for 22 years. You can do the hard work up front, or you can take the easy path. And here's how the easy path works. Everything sounds perfect. Perfect pitch. You solved my problem. The presentation was beautiful. I'm okay with what you're charging me. And then if I do all this stuff, you're going to help me solve my problem. Easy, right? Here's the problem. The easy part is actually in the marketing, and most of it is not the truth. How do I know this? Because me and Zach do it the complete opposite way. Why? Because here's the reality how most of you work. You get the easy path to do something. It sounds really sexy. This person's going to do everything for me. I just got to look over their shoulder, and by the end, I'm going to have 5 or 10 deals. Then you find out the material's not nearly what they said it is. There's very little support. A lot of times it's their students that are supporting you. They're super students. And all of a sudden you find out that I can't get deals off MLS like they said I could. And it's going to take more than doing FSBO, Zillow owners. And I'm going to have to go get government lists, knock on doors. And then you come to me and Zach and we go, listen, you're going to have to do the hard work up front. It's going to be brutal. But if you're willing to have an incredible work ethic and execute, we'll help you knock it out of the park. If you're not going to do that, don't cry to me. Here's the difference. I tell you the truth up front. Me and Zach tell you the truth up front. Most gurus that sell you a course, especially in wholesaling, it sounds so perfect. That's why you guys buy it. It's why I bought in these programs. That's why most of you buy in these programs. It's why they have a 90 to 95% failure ratio. Not my data, their data. So if we know that, you know you have to reverse it in order. If you don't believe me, let's find another industry outside of real estate to see if this theory applies. So guess what? The fitness industry also knows how to exploit lazy people. You don't believe me? Let's walk through it. How many gym memberships you think are going to be signed up the first week of January? It'll be mind-blowing. It's just going to be a record. Everybody wants to get healthy. Everybody makes a New Year's resolution with an 88% failure ratio. I think the number's higher, but that's it. Why? Because healthiness is a 365-day choice. It's not a New Year's resolution. But the gym fitness industry will take complete advantage of it for you. In fact, they depend on people to be lazy. Because do you know if everybody showed up to the gym on the same day, they could not let you in? Just go look at the capacity of your gym. So my capacity, I think, can hold 365 people. Local LA Fitness. They probably got 5,000 members. They play the law of averages. They know people are stupid. They know they're lazy, and they know they won't follow through on it. So you got to fight through January, and after that, it's pretty much easy going. We all know that. We all understand it. We know it's coming. That's it. So they do it in gym memberships. But let's not just stop there. You think they just do it in gym memberships? Listen, they're business people. I don't blame them for what they're doing. But then they sell you the perfect execution. You ready for this? The perfect idea. And you all fall for it. Do you know one of the best-selling fitness programs was the 6-minute abs? This is, I believe, back in the 80s, maybe the 90s. Do you guys really believe this crap? Like, seriously, let me just demystify abs, okay? Everybody wants abs. Doesn't care if you're a man or a woman. More men. But here's the reality of abs. You have to remove your fat to get abs, period. That's the secret. You don't even have to exercise it. If you got super slim. And I'm not here to give you like fitness expert because I have my own struggles with it. But the secret to getting abs is cut your fat down, period. Eat less, exercise more. It's just not a routine. I can do 10 million sit-ups, but if I'm fat, it's never going to show. Are they going to tell you that on the ad? No. So I want you to understand the difference between me and Zach when it comes to wholesaling. We sometimes tell you, you're just fat. You got to lose the weight and move forward. But if I'm going to sell you something, I'm going to make it super easy. I'm going to push the easy button. You know what I'm going to do? Hey, I'm going to show you how to get abs in 6 minutes. And I'm just going to come up with some quirky exercise and I'm going to sell hundreds of millions of dollars of it. Why? Because it sounds perfect. If you could get abs in 6 minutes, 100% of you would buy it. But the reality is a lot of people bought it and didn't get the results they wanted. Why? They chose the easy route because they wanted a quick gratification. They thought they could solve their problem right there. Does everybody understand that? So if you can do it in the gym membership and the fitness and training, why do you think it's any different than in wholesaling? In fact, wholesaling and real estate courses know this exact secret. They know how to suck lazy people in. End of story. So let me ask you this. Have you ever seen this ad? How to flip houses in your pajamas, or how to sip a Mai Tai on the beach while you flip 5 houses and you don't lift a finger? Dude, sign me up. I went in on that program too. I've yet to find that in my 22 years of wholesaling. Does everybody understand? Like, the lie is so bad. All it is, so you understand, it's just an idea. It's a theory. And in theory, in my head, it's just like my idea with the, here comes my ADHD. Why the hell can't my washing machine just drop my clothes in the dryer and just handle the whole damn thing itself? I find it ridiculous. We got to switch it up. It's an idea. The problem is the execution of that idea is very horrible because they're two different completely machines. One spins one way, one spins the other. One's about heat, one's about cold and heat. And to this day, nobody's really solved it or haven't made it like really cost effective. So why not just sell you a program how you can flip houses with never getting out of your pajamas, never getting dressed, or sitting on the beach getting a suntan while you do it? It is the perfect way to solve the problem. The truth is, though, it doesn't really exist. Why? Because lazy people don't know it. And that's why they take advantage of people that are lazy. It's just the truth. Marketers take advantage of it. It is so ridiculous. In fact, I'm here to tell you, what does the gym membership, the 6-minute abs, and the wholesaling courses and the real estate courses all have in common? What do they all have in common? Tell me in the comments. What do you think they all have in common? Why does this happen? I'm looking here. Okay. So here's what they have in common, guys. They're all just ideas. Everyone's got an idea. I remember when they invented the electric fishing reel. I'm like, God, it'd be really nice if somebody could just wind it, like, so I don't have to wind it all the time. I'm a big fisherman, but like, sure enough, they have it now. Who's that take advantage of? I don't know. Maybe the lazy fisherman. I'm drinking coffee, man. It's cold. It's cold here in Florida. It's like in the 50s. Anyways, these are all just ideas, and ideas derive in the head. Ideas just float around. Honestly, there's too many ideas out in this world. Very, very, very little execution. And so lazy people, since they don't execute well or bother to even doing it, they love to buy ideas. And this is the problem in wholesaling. Does wholesaling work? Absolutely. The question is, will you work for wholesaling? And the truth of the matter is most people won't. I know this for a fact. This is why they sell more crap courses. This is why you get $10,000 and $20,000 courses, because you guys think the bigger the price tag, the bigger the product you're getting. And when you get there, there's a reason you have to pay them before you can see anything. I find it absolutely ludicrous. This is why me and Zach show you everything we do without even asking for a dime from you. Is the truth of the matter is there's nothing. It's just an idea. It's a theory. How many times have you bought a real estate course only to find out it's crap? And the fact is, if they let you look at the course or talk to any of their members, odds are you would have never signed up in the first place. This is why they always take testimonials after you pay for it, and usually in the first week or two or the first 30 days. Why? Because you're super excited, you're confused as hell. And let's be brutally honest on this. What kind of an endorsement is if you paid somebody 5 or 10 grand to teach you wholesaling and it failed? Because part of you failed, you made a bad decision, and none of us want to own up to it. The truth of the fact is, a lot of testimonials, you go back to anyone who's got a testimonial on the internet that the guru asked you for it, 9 out of 10 would say, please take that down. Because after time went by and they find out what the reality of the course is, and that's the problem. You are completely biased when you give a testimony in the first 30 days. Number one, how can I be wrong? I paid a ton of money and I'm going to admit failure off the bat. Number two, you want to feel like you got value for your money. So you guys double down and you give gurus testimonials, and they're going to use it for the rest of their life against you. That's why me and Zach never, ever ask you guys for testimonials, because it is shameless to force people to give a testimonial, because they're just doing it to get more students. End of story. So if you understand that, everything's an idea. And here's the one thing I've learned about ideas. Ideas are easy. Everyone has it. Put in the comments if you got an idea right now. Do you know there is no difference between an idea and a thought? And most of the time, all ideas are just a thought. That's how we formulate. We pre-plan it in our mind before we put it into action. Now, I don't know about you, but I think the average person, I believe, has over 60,000 thoughts in a day. Think about this for a second. Here's the crazy part is 90% of those thoughts are thoughts you had from the day before. So do you think there's any really bad ideas in there? Guys, there's so many bad ideas. And here's the one thing I've learned. Lazy people have some of the worst ideas I've ever heard in my life. Why? Because there's no way to do a proof of concept. There's no way to execute it. In fact, lazy people are going to be the first people to tell you how to run your life. If you don't have a family, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I promise you, there's somebody in your life that's going to tell you how to run it better, but they've never done a damn thing themselves. This is the lazy syndrome we are all dealing with. Guys, do you believe everybody's got an idea? It's ridiculous. And I want you to understand that. Lazy people, if you decide to be lazy, I promise you, you're going to be taken advantage of. Either it's going to be somebody in the fitness industry. It's definitely going to be somebody in the real estate industry. My God, our industry is just plagued with it. Why? Because it's super attractive, because they have the perfect marketing pitch. I'm going to solve all your problems. You're going to flip 50 houses in the next 2 or 3 months with me. I'm going to show you how to do it all behind the scenes. You're going to be part of my mastermind. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You get so excited, you just throw your money at them. And then you're so happy. And then the reality is the problem just kicks into you and go, crap. Like you find out you're actually going to have to do the work. So what I want you to understand right now is this. Ready? This is where it starts to get good. So don't worry. We're going to put a plan together here. The big lie you've been told your entire life. I'm going to be honest with you, and I figured this out. I got mad, but I got excited at the same time. Because listen, life is a journey. We all have to go through it. And you're going to figure out real quick, your parents did the best they could. Now, I don't know about you. I love my parents dearly. God rest my mother's soul, the most amazing woman, loved me to death. But she didn't really help me out to become the man I need to be in my life. And God knows my father didn't. So I had to figure stuff out on my own. And as a reckless teenage boy, God knows I got into every experience. But I don't regret any of it, because it makes me the person who I am today. So what's the big lie that was told my entire life? You ready for this? I promise you, I really want your feedback on this, because this is 55 years. I promise you, this is the truth. You ready? Here it comes. I was told education plus hard work will make you successful. And I'm here to tell you right now, if you follow this formula on the screen, you are doomed in wholesaling. In fact, you're probably going to be doomed with anything you do in life, because it's not the truth. The education, I did the whole thing. all the way to college, whatever. I didn't get my master's, any of that, because honestly, I barely made it through college to begin with. Hard work, I've always believed in hard work. I've never been really a lazy person, but like hard work, do you guys realize that doesn't mean crap? What does hard work mean? Here's the reality. Most hard work is just busy work. And if you've heard me once, you've heard me twice, busy equals broke. What does busy mean? It means I have no idea what I'm doing, but it fills the time. In fact, I'm here to tell you that being busy is a form of procrastination. And procrastination means you're not doing anything productive. So if you subscribe to get a great education, if you think the public school system and college is a great education, we need to have another discussion because it has failed. Colleges are so far behind of where businesses are today. To me, you're going backwards if you go to college to get a business education. I'm sorry. It's the truth. Listen, I struggle sending my own kids to college, but they did it. They're really smart, and I gave them options. And as long as they weren't going into debt and they weren't going to spend a lot of time doing it, I let the decision be made by them. But I did not provide for their college, even though I did prepaid, because I did all the crap people told me to do. And you know what? I have two extremely successful children. One's in the medical field, and obviously you guys know where Zach is. They did not pick that up from college. And I'm here to tell you, you've got to pick your education carefully, which we're going to talk about. Hard work, we'll get into that. Hard work alone just means busy to me, because you can do all the wrong things and not make a dime, and you worked really hard at it. So what's the point? If you follow this formula, you get frustrated, let me know in the comments, because I could tell you this is what led me to wholesaling. Here's the differences. Past going through college, which I think I was 24, 25 when I got out. I know it was a long time in college. And then my 11, 12 years in the corporate world, I wasted all my time. And if I can just fix one person on this live stream, I have done my job. And I'm here to tell you, you've got to understand, if you follow this formula, it is not going to work. Here's the reality, though. A lot of people you talk to, they're so indoctrinated by the system, by the government, by their teachers, by their parents. They'll fight you on this. So I don't make anybody do anything. I just find the people that understand they want to they just don't want an average life, and they don't buy into this. So the reality is, if you find this, you got to go into the corporate world. You have to compete with everybody else to do average work. What? To get a basic salary so you can pay a mortgage. You can have kids, whatever you want to do, and you provide income by buying a bunch of crap that really is not going to make you happy. At the end of the day, you're going to be in over your head in debt. And you know what? You have to keep working because you have to pay your taxes. You have to pay all your credit card bills and your mortgage. And somebody told you that's how you get free. I've tried it, guys. It is literally a prison sentence. I'm just going to save you the grief. You're better off sleeping on your friend's couch and fighting to get free in your life than to go in the modern day prison of what they call going through, get a good education, go hard work, and get a good job. And I remember when my teacher told me, to go, Rick, you're never going to get a good job. And honestly, it destroyed me for 10 years of my life. But I look back now, she did the biggest favor she could have ever done to me. She was 100% right. And fate has an incredible way of revealing itself. I was never meant to work for other people. In fact, I've been fired by more jobs than you can shake a stick at. I like to lead. I do not like to follow. Now, we have to have followers, don't get me wrong. But a majority of the workforce rather work for someone, kind of be lazy, and just get their paycheck. To me, you've given up at that point. Don't get me wrong. I subscribed to this. I tried it for 12 years. It didn't work, plus my education. So let's talk about this and break this down and figure out how can we truly do this to figure this out. So number one, talk about education and an IQ. Now, education is something you go out and get. I am not opposed to education. I think it's important. But there's a limit. The problem is, if you look at our modern day school system, especially our public system and even the private schools, what do they really teach past your basics? I believe up to like middle school, when you go through your math, your science, all this stuff, what are we really teaching to give a life skill? Do we teach about financial savviness? Do we teach how to buy a piece of real estate? Do we teach how to invest in your future? No, 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 no. Rick, you have to save. You will never hear the word invest from the school system because it doesn't fit their agenda. See, what do I mean by invest? Number one, you invest in yourself by getting education outside of the public school system, like YouTube, freewholesaling.com. We can go on. Guys, there's never been more places to reach out to further your education than in 2024. So relying on the school system, it should be like the most basic thing you do, in my opinion. They're not going to teach you how to invest. Why? Because it doesn't fit their agenda. Why invest? Save. Save keeps you poor your entire life. Sorry. There is a time where you save just to get by in your teenage years, even your 20s. But eventually you got to take that savings and you have to invest it in something. If you save till the day you retire, you've already lost the game. So let me ask you, what are you going to, so if I work 30 years, let's do some math here. So let's say you work 30 years and say I'm able to save $8,000 a year from start to finish. 8,000, let's do the math on it. 8,000 times 30 years. That's not a lot of money. That's 240 grand. And by the time you compound it, you'll probably double, if not triple it. Let's just say the average person retires. If somebody wants to Google and put it on here, I would love to do it. Probably not use Google, Go Duck or whatever it is, and find out what the average net worth of someone is when they retire in the United States. You're going to be shocked when you see this number, because saving and doing like 401k investments is not going to get you where you need to do. You do not defer your taxes. You do not get write-offs. In fact, you defer your taxes. And here's the secret. What they won't tell you is a lot of times you have to pay more in taxes because you deferred. Because let me ask you, in society right now, so in the state of Florida, the wonderful state I'm in, somehow we had a vote on a referendum on sales tax. So our original sales tax was 6%. I think 10 or 15 years ago, they decided to add a 0.5% surtax to help pay for some more schools, things, and all that. Because, okay, 6.5%, we all bought into it. Guess what? Here I am another 12 years later. Guess what? That 0.5% is not falling off. And guess what? They voted to add another 0.5%. So now we're at 7%. Do you see how taxes go in the United States? They constantly keep taxing to add another tax on another tax. Do you know we're one of the most taxed nations in the entire world now? If you add up your sales tax, your property tax, your gas tax, your sales tax, your income tax, how much do you think you're really paying taxes? The government has completely confused you on purpose because you work for the government. And I know this for a fact. This is why I love real estate, taking advantage of every loophole, every write-off I can get. And I love when they go to politicians. You don't pay your share fair amount of taxes. You wrote the laws. I'm just instituting what you put into practice. And the reality is they cater to their donors, which are usually rich people, and they want these loopholes. If you take advantage of them, you're not committing a crime. You're actually being rewarded for reading the rules. So you ever play Monopoly? Here's a little secret. If you want to dominate everybody in Monopoly, take a half hour and read every rule and research it. You will kill everybody in Monopoly because nobody reads the rules. Let me go to Park Place. If you want to destroy somebody in a game, understand the rules. How do you think taxation works? They made the rules so complicated, so complex. The average person, you know what they do? I don't have time for this crap. I'm just going to pay my taxes. So you pay a penalty because you don't want to educate yourself. Not my problem. I do not play that game. Now, I don't read all the tax codes myself. I do hire people to help me with it, but we identify trends and then we take advantage of them. And you can do the exact same thing just by doing wholesaling. Here's a really cool thing is, just by wholesaling, if you earn the same amount wholesaling you did in your regular job, you would get a 35% pay increase just by having the write-offs. As a W-2 employee, just so you guys know, you are penalized the maximum amount by the United States government when it comes to taxes. You have no shelter. You have to take whatever's given to you, and that's it. So if I earn $150,000 for a company, honestly, you're probably not earning a lot of money by the it's all said and done. And then you do this thing called the 401k, which honestly is one of the biggest jokes I've ever seen. So I use 401ks the correct way because here's a little secret. I educated myself on taxes. I own a lot of different companies. Do you know every company I can formulate a 401k plan? And do you know I can donate $23,500 per company for a defined 401k plan? You know how hard it is to define a 401k plan? It's a piece of cake. It's a lot of paperwork, but it's not complicated. I have people who set this up for me. If I have 10 companies, I can donate $235,000 tax-free to myself to invest that money to have it grow forever. Now, here's the sad part about the taxes. I already told you they keep growing them. Where are we going to be in 20 years from now? Are you going to be in a better tax situation or worse? Most people assume they won't have any income. They won't have anything going down. I'm here to tell you, us people that are actually building towards wealth, we're very concerned how we're going to be taxed at the end. The average W-2 worker does not give a crap. And they're honestly, at the end, the government's going to find more ways to take money from you. But I'm not here to give you a tax class because that's a whole nother class that I'm not an expert on. I mean, keep this in mind. If you're a straight up W-2 employee, if you made $100,000 as a W-2 employee and you busted your ass and made $100,000 as a wholesaler, just from the write-offs you get from a typical corporation, you would get a 35% pay increase. Think about that for a moment. And I promise you're going to be a better boss to yourself than the people that got going you now. So education is what you go out and actively seek. You have a choice in this. You need to act now. If you want to get into wholesaling, go to freewholesaling.com. Oh, it's free. It's going to be crap. You've been indoctrinated by the gurus. They sell you that lie because you have to go behind their paywall to supposedly get the truth. If you actually found out what the truth of most of those people doing it, you would be shocked. The truth is their business is coaching. Did you know most big time coaches, most of their money comes from coaching? End of story. They do endless live streams all day long. I don't do that crap. Zach does 2 live streams. I do 2. We split it up and we run a community. And we help people out. Anybody who does one-on-one coaching, the writing's already on the wall. You're in trouble. They're extremely desperate. Any great wholesaler does not have time to do one-on-one coaching. That's just not my theory. That's the industry's theory. And if you've got someone that wants to take it one-on-one, just be very, very aware of it. So the next thing is education. You go out and you seek it. Now, in the beginning, let's be honest, we're stuck with what our parents gave us. But I really didn't get educated till in my 30s. So it doesn't matter when you do it. You can do it in your 70s, your 80s, your 90s. I don't give a crap. Listen, you should be learning till the day you die. And the minute you stop learning, you're just waiting to die. I'm sorry. You're just in a body waiting to be buried. Your mind needs constant growth. It needs uncertainty. Go to a Tony Robbins seminar. He'll tell you the 6 keys to human nature. I'm not the expert on it, but it sure is damn true. And we have to understand. Now, IQ, some of us have limitations here. I don't have the highest IQ. And honestly, I don't think I've ever, my mom never shared my IQ test with me. And I would love to take one. I would share it with you. My IQ is nothing above normal. In fact, I'm here to tell you the higher your IQ is, probably the worse you're going to do in wholesaling. Now, you're going to have some common street smarts. Education is a choice. This is my point. IQ is kind of your capability to process and learn. So let me let you in on a little bit of a secret. I know I don't have the highest IQ. I'm probably, if I polled everybody watching me right now, more than half of you would have a higher IQ than me. Now, we all remember when we were in school, remember those parents, or maybe your parent goes, I think my kid's gifted. Everybody wants to label a child. Everybody wants a superstar. The reality is, if you want to create a superstar child, stop worrying about if you're going to gift them. You need to find out that the education and the IQ is not enough to be successful in life. Now, I look at IQ as your capability to process information and make fast decisions. I'm not the quickest at it. I know it up front. And honestly, because of that, my ADHD is why I believe I've done so well in wholesaling. So if you don't think you're super smart and you got ADHD, you're in the freaking right place. I'm here to tell you. Everybody, education is a choice. IQ is your ability to process it. Can you improve your IQ through studying? I guess you can, but like the reality is, I think your IQ's it's just how your brain's wired. I don't think anyone is better because they have a higher IQ. Are they more qualified for certain positions? Absolutely. I'm here to tell you, wholesaling doesn't care. The next one, hard work. What the hell does that mean? You got to work hard. Now, listen, people like did manual labor out in landscaping and fields. They work really hard, but they're really poor. And they don't have a lot of options in life. So working hard is, in my opinion, just a terrible, terrible sentiment to give somebody. It makes people super busy and basically forces you to trade your time for money, which I'm a completely opposed in wholesaling. Don't get me wrong. I've traded plenty of my time for money, but you guys understand in today's world, trading your time for money will get you, there's only 24 hours in a day and you can only charge so much. And even a great lawyer, even the best lawyer is about $550, $600 an hour. Do the math. Unless they have a big law firm with a lot of cases, it's hard to make a ton of money per hour. Lawyers are the exception because I'm not going to say they take advantage of lazy people, but they go find the biggest cases and get a big cut in them, which I don't even know how you get away with it. So now we understand how education and IQ and hard work. These are flawed systems. And if you know that going into this, let's get to the truth. Let's get into how we can get this done. Because see, if I didn't set up and predicate the problem and tell you what the issue is, the solution would make absolutely no sense to you at all. Period. Nothing. So if you feel like you're not the smartest person on the block, you feel like I just don't want to be busy all day. How can I truly make a difference and provide for my family and have an exceptional life? That's what you're here for. Let's be brutally honest. And you know what? Here's the part you're missing. You ready? This is the equation I did not figure out until my late 30s. And it would have been a hell of a lot easier if somebody taught me this in grade school. Honestly, if we go back and we could rechange how we did education, listen, guys, I'm here to tell you, I think teachers are wonderful people, but they are limited in the system they have. I was somewhat fortunate, at least when I went to the school system, teachers would go out of your way. I remember way back when my grandmother was a teacher, God rest her soul, she would bring students home with her because that was the right thing to do. They had nowhere to go. The parents were tied up. Like there was such an ownership of a teacher. And my wife is a teacher. I love teachers. But today's modern day teachers, they're so handcuffed by the school boards, by the principals, the assistant principals, and it's not their fault. And they're told, you can't talk about that. She can't do this. You can't help on that. And we're down to just education. And honestly, education is the worst part of the entire school system. It's antiquated. It's outdated. Don't even get me started on AI. AI is pretty much going to wipe out most education because a computer is going to do everything for you. I still think you need to use your brain. But let's talk about the truth time. You ready? This is the equation. If somebody gave it to me, say in middle school, or I brought up with parents that believed in this, I would have figured it out so much faster. And this is the secret I taught my son on how to destroy it in wholesaling. And here's the caveat part of it. My son had the IQ. He could do anything he wanted. He could be a lawyer. He got his mother's brains, not mine. And he got my work ethic. And here's what we did. Ready? Education plus hard work, which means you got the right direction, plus execution equals success. What's the missing factor? Very simple, guys. Those that can execute will earn 10 times those that just take education and hard work alone. You don't believe me? Let me go through the roster. It is endless in what can be done. Now, you've got to understand, execution is taking an idea and working it through a plan and making sure it goes through. I've already told you, everybody's got a million ideas. Very few people can execute. In fact, this is the missing part of life. of why most people are broke and why so many people are rich. It is just the execution. Do you think Jeff Bezos, the smartest guy in the world, he just figured out how to execute? And you all think it's like a perfect path to get the execution. It's not. It is trial by fire. I could tell you about so many failed business ventures I've had. I'm okay with failing. But you know what the school system taught me? Failing is the worst thing that can ever happen to you. The truth is, the more you fail, the better you'll do in life, because failure winds up giving you a result. It teaches you a lesson. And from that lesson, you grow as a person. End of story. I can't emphasize this to you enough. If you guys don't believe me, you want to argue, put it in the comments right now. If you do not execute, you can't get anything done in life. In fact, how can someone like me, average IQ, probably below, I'm not even going to share my SAT scores. They're disgusting. How can I run multi-million-dollar companies? And every company is growing. Every company gets bigger every year. All I do is execute. And guess what? I'm a C student. I'm a proud C student. Why? Because I'm always looking to lead. I don't have time to get into every little weed of everything. I hire super smart people with a great IQ. They carry out my plans, my schedule, and then I make sure it executes. That's the secret, guys. If you just want to just do everything yourself, you're just going to be broke. That's just the truth. I've tried to do everything by myself before I did wholesaling. 100% failure ratio. So what we have to do is, how do I get to this level? Very, very simple. The question is how. Number one, let's first start off with this. Let's just get the easy stuff out of the way. Education. Go to freewholesaling.com. It's not a scam. It's been here 4.5 years. Every guru told me it would fail. It's going to be a nightmare. Why would you give something away for free when you can charge for it? Why? Because you're dumb enough to charge everyone these ridiculous prices. You don't listen to the people that talk to you. They need help. 95% failure ratio is embarrassing in our industry, and it needs to be solved. Remember, I told you, marketing, wholesalers are really good at marketing. It's the number one skill set, and they take advantage of lazy people. And when you get introduced to wholesaling, you just hear the sweet spot of it, right? Everything's perfect. You flip them in your pajamas, flip them with a Mai Tai in your hand. Bull, BS. It's hard work. I'm going to teach you how to do the hard work up front. If you want to do easy now, it's going to be so painful at the end, you're going to regret it. Think about it, guys. You could sit around and eat bonbons all day. You're going to be really comfortable for 6 to 12 months. But after that 6 to 12 months, you're going to be so fat, so lazy, so uncomfortable, so sick. You're going to be forced in a hospital or some sort of medical attention. You're going to have to take extreme action for the next 2 years just to get back on that right ship. Choose your pain, guys, because it's coming one way or the other. Either choose to be proactive towards it and get it done, doing the execution, the work, or you can take the lazy path, think you're getting by, and it's just going to be a lifetime of pain. One way or the other, you're going to have pain. Which way you want it, either you have a choice or the choice will be made for you. Is completely up to you. I mean, be so graphic about this, but it's just, I've got to relate it. So I'm just checking comments here. I was a strong C student. Sometimes I was a C plus, and every now and then I got a B. But the thing is, here's the difference is I actually enjoyed learning. Just my ADHD got in a lot of my way. And back then, nobody knew what the hell it was. And I don't believe ADHD is a disease. It's just a different way we process information. And the strength of an ADHD is I can go narrow and I can go deep with individuals, with sellers. I'm an empath by nature. Unfortunately, that's how I was raised. I didn't have a choice. I had to constantly be on my toes to figure out what bombshell was going to be dropped on me. What thing am I going to the dentist today? Am I getting a shot? Am I mowing the lawn? Do I get a shirt today? Like, I had a lot of siblings. Different world, guys. And I don't regret anything about my childhood. I enjoyed it, but like, it created a lot of problems in my life, and I've learned to deal with them. But I'm telling you, I used this formula of education and hard work, and it did not work out for me. So the hard work, I already told you, you're going to have to do it in wholesaling. The key is we give you a wholesaling compass and point you in the right direction. Having you go call 1,000 real estate agents on the MLS as a new wholesaler, or is telling you go out and get subject to deals because you don't have to compete with other wholesalers. Once again, it is a marketing gimmick. And that marketing gimmick is going to take advantage of lazy people. A smart person goes, wait a minute, why on hell would I go on MLS to find wholesale deals? You know, the odds of it statistically are going to be extremely low. Your volume would have to be incredible. And you're going to have an amazing real estate vocabulary, which you don't have. And you're going to have to know how to talk every seller and every real estate agent through every real estate situation, which you don't have any of that skill set. So why would this proposition be given to you? It's just plain greed. End of story. It sells because it sounds perfect. It's easy. And when you get easy up front, you're going to get hard on the back end, and you're going to just come back to me and Zach when you get it done. Hopefully it works out for you, but like if it doesn't. So let's talk about execution. So now we're talking about the plan. So execution, let's deep dive into it. How do we execute? This is where you guys are going to start doing your procrastination analysis by paralysis, and let's fix this. So what I want you to do is get a vision. So first of all, who do you admire the most for execution? Put it in the comments right now. Tell me who you admire the most for execution. I don't care about their political affiliation. I don't care what country they're from. Who do you go, man, this person just, I'm talking execute. Leave it at execution. It doesn't even have to be the most amount of talent. And typically execution is going to lead someone who is completely well off in life, because that's what execution is. So I'm going to put mine up here. I want to see if there's any matches here, and we'll have a good time with this. Oh my God, dude, they're just jumping out at me. I love David Goggins. This man, like, you know what, dude, Luis, like, I love David Goggins. And if you ever need to be kicked in the teeth and feel sorry for everything else, just put on a little David Goggins. I love this man. I really do. LeBron James, where is it? He's great at basketball. I'm not going to knock that. Like, I wouldn't want to play against him. Let's see here. John Cena. My better half, John Cena. My father, awesome. So guys, here's what you truly have to define is, there's one of mine right there, Elon Musk. I'm talking about execution. Think what this man did with Tesla. You guys know he did not invent Tesla. He bought the company from somebody else, but he executed a production line in a vision. Do you know GM, Ford, Chrysler, and Honda all laughed at Elon Musk, said he's never going to last in business. And now if you add all those other companies, Elon Musk is like 4 times bigger. Elon Musk, when he puts his mind to doing something, he gets it done. I'm not talking about politics or anything like that, guys, but let me ask you, if you could pick a CEO to run your wholesaling business, let's just rephrase it. Who would you pick? You need someone that can execute at a high level and they just get it done. They're like machines. And that's who you need to go, I got Jesus, that excellent executor. I cannot argue with that. Hey, I went through a huge learning curve to get to my execution, and I appreciate it. Guys, it goes on and on. Look at all the people in the comments on it. And so let me share mine so you kind of understand. So, anyway, I got a little bit of personal bias, just like we all do. But here's my short list of execution. And I'll tell you why. So you already know the Elon Musk story, so I'll save you on that one. Dude, Mark Wahlberg, if I could replicate his ability to execute, he's the guy I probably most look up to. Do you know how many business Mark Wahlberg owns? It's unreal. So forget about his acting and his singing and dancing talent, which God knows I can't dance. And I think it's amazing when people can dance because I suck at it. Maybe somebody at the next event can volunteer and give me some dance lessons because it's embarrassing when I go to weddings, but that's just me. But I do have a good time. But like Mark Wahlberg, the man executes and never stops. He owns so much. I love his municipal line. I love the Wahlberg story with the burgers. Um, he owns plenty of alcohol brands. He owns what's that, F40. I mean, the list goes on. The amount of companies, and why I respect him the most is he opened a lot of these companies during COVID. He had to write huge checks to cover losses, and all his advisors were telling him to quit. He goes, "I'm Mark Wahlberg. I don't quit anything. If I put my mind to it, I get it done." Dude, the guy's insane. And with his fitness level, I really admire his commitment to fitness. It never wavers. And you look at so me and him are roughly the same age. He's in much better shape than him. I just admire him. And he has an unwavering commitment to making everybody he meets better. And he never quits anything he does. And he's super humble. And dude, he's one of the coolest guys out there. I just love Mark Wahlberg. I think he's really cool. And guys, keep putting up names where we give some inspiration to people on here. The other one I put on there is Jared Leto, and he's the lead singer of 30 Seconds to Mars. He is roughly my age. I believe he's 54, 55, and he doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He has an amazing singing ability. His acting is off the chart. And why I admire this man the most is his band signed a record label back in, I think 2007 or 8. And they were just hitting everything off the charts. And the record label, they signed an agreement for like a deal to do 5 albums. And these guys were getting paid like $1.5 to $2 million for all, I think 4 or 5 band members. And then they were bringing in hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And guess what he did? He decided to fight. He says enough is enough. So the entire record industry up to that point, as you know, is you got a big upfront signing bonus, and then you got a modest salary, and you got all the perks. He says, screw that. I want the $100 million. He goes, no, you have a contract. So they spent, I think, $6 million in legal fees, and they won. And everybody told him to quit. And you know what he did? He goes, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. I'm going to keep going. And he is actually one of the most humble people you'll ever meet. He's very in tune of who he is. And honestly, I've seen this guy go to a concert. He has more fitness than I see most 18-year-old men have. Plus, he's amazingly talented. He's amazingly loaded. He can get anything he wants anywhere. But like, he's an extremely humble guy. And I love people that can check their ego at that level. Him and Mark Wahlberg absolutely hit it out of the park on this. So I'm just saying, guys, find people that you admire for execution because it makes it more palatable. And I always say, what would Mark Wahlberg do in this situation? What would Jared Leto do? What would Elon Musk do? Now, you don't have to pick my people. You need to pick if it's, but like, look at it from an execution level, period. And if you find someone that can execute, you got to find a way to mimic sorry, their secret sauce and get it done. Because execution, guys, is the mother of all skill. And if you can figure out how to execute, you can crush anything. So let's audit your time right now. How do I fix this, Rick? Okay, I get it. Awesome. So the first thing you need to do is, I want you to audit time, write it down. Just do me a favor, take tomorrow, take a little journal and just write down your day from the time you brush your teeth to the time the sun goes down, and tell me what you do with your day. Now, I get it. A lot of you aren't going to be honest with yourselves, and I can't help you there. But if you're going to have to be honest. So if you're just going to keep it to yourself, figure it out. And what I want you to do is divide every activity into 2 columns, just like I got on the screen. Income producing, non-income producing. If you don't know the difference between these two, let me give you a quick crash course. Number 1, anytime you're talking to a customer, pulling a list, or doing a marketing activity, or writing a contract, any type of prospecting is income producing activity. If you're working on a logo, you're working on your LLC, you're working on your website, you're talking to people just to kill time and gossip, you get the picture. I promise you, you guys are probably doing less than 10% of income producing activities, and you're wasting your day. Guys, we're all on this earth roughly the same 24 hours every day. The truth is, most of us waste our time. As Marcus Aurelius says, it's not What's he say? It's not that we have a short time to live. It's that we waste our time while we're living. And if you really look at your day, if you look at like today was your last day on earth, would you do it differently? Why? The truth is because you think you have forever and you don't. And if you understand this, divide your time up because you got to get to the plan. What do I say it takes to sacrifice in wholesaling? Put in the comments. How much time to truly get ahead in life? How much? Put it in here. I want to know. How much? I'm giving you the truth on this. How much time do you have to sacrifice? JP up there, 2 years. This is the dirty secret. This is why I don't sell a coaching program, because most of you would quit if I told you 2 years. Most of you think you can do it in 2 weeks, and that's the real underlying problem here. Because to execute a plan for 2 years takes a massive discipline and consistency. So let's talk about it. Once you audit your time, you only need 3 things to be successful to get your plan to go. So the first thing is you have to create a plan. And I'm here to tell you, your plan doesn't have to be perfect, and your plan can change and adapt. But most of you don't have a plan. You just go, I'm just going to go find motivated sellers. I'm going to figure this out. I get it. It feels overwhelming to write a plan, but write a plan for the next 90 days. Can you do that? Hey, I'm going to go into freewholesaling.com and I'm going to commit to it. And I'm not just going to read it and like go deep philosophy. I'm going to apply. I'm actually going to take action and execute. So your plan should have a form of execution built into it. I've got 90 days to do this, 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 and this. Then you're going to have to break down your daily activities. Now, to do this, the plan is the 30,000 foot view. If you don't have a plan, you're going nowhere. Let me ask you this. If you get in the car and I tell you, hey, listen, come meet me down here in Florida. You guys will get to Florida, but you won't know how to find me. Why? Because I didn't give you an address. I didn't tell you where I was. And honestly, without GPS coordinates and these damn smartphones, we can't find anything. So how do you expect to get somewhere if you don't know where the address is? You're not going to get there. Here's the secret. You're never going to get there because you have no direction. The clearer your plan is, the more execution you can do. The problem is most people don't have a clear-cut plan. That's why they don't execute. So here's the secret. Have a plan. It doesn't have to be perfect. Trust me. Come up with a 90-day plan to get things rolling. The next part is create a schedule. I struggled horribly with this. Listen, guys, you don't want to be lazy. A schedule will help you keep things in line for what you need to get done. If you get 24 hours like everybody else does, you need to plan it out so you're most effective. I'm dead serious on this. Now, with the advent of electronic calendars, it is simple. Google's one of the easiest ones. I'm not a big fan of Google, but their products, I can't really deny they're pretty good. Schedule it. I want you to do time blocking. I did an entire video on this. So if you're going to cold call, here's the reality. Most of you guys that go to a 9-to-5 job, you say you work 8 hours a day. It's complete BS. You only work about 2 hours and you know it. What's the other 6 hours? I don't know what you do. I've been to work. I know how this works. We go to lunch, we kill time, we talk about people in the office. Nothing effectively gets done. You're trading your time for money. There's a reason for it. You're not effective when you do that. Studies already show it's not just me. It's already been proven. So if we know that, then we'll schedule it. So if you're going to do cold calling, take a 2 or 3 hour time block. Say it's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's it. Put your phone on vibrate, flip it over, and go to work. Go deep. Don't stop. Don't let anything distract you. Then take an hour in between to answer your calls, take a bite to eat, maybe go work out, be super effective, and then get back to it. You can't do every 30 minutes. We're not that good, guys, and we're not that important. And honestly, when Zach tries to stack me up every 30 minutes, I fight back because I have to breathe a little bit. My ADHD will take over if you schedule every minute. Listen, people will tell you they get up at 3 a.m. and then they go to bed at like 9. Why do they have to tell you that? If that's what you want to do, just do it. Don't tell me and try to go, oh, because you don't get up at 3 a.m. I let people go, if you're not at the 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. workout club, yeah, you're not getting things done. Complete bullshit. Sorry. It's just the truth. Who cares when you get it done? It's your schedule. You can do it however you want. In fact, a lot of wholesaling is geared towards like sleeping in a little bit because you can't call people really before 9 a.m. and really 10 a.m. on is preferred time. But most of the time we're getting in touch with them in the evening time. So if you get up at 3 a.m., you're not going to have the stamina to survive till like 8 or 9 o'clock cold calling. So stop trying to follow everyone else's schedule. You create your own schedule. And here's the secret to a schedule. If it's not scheduled, it will not happen consistently. If I showed you my schedule right now, it's pretty packed and I'm excited about it. When I first did scheduling, I feared it. Why? Because it made me uncomfortable. How am I going to stick to the schedule? I'm going to lose my life. In fact, it did the complete opposite of what I thought it was going to do. It let me achieve my goals by the end of the week, the end of the month, the quarter, biannual, and yearly. Without the schedule, you have zero shot of having any of this happen. Schedule it. Involve your family and let them know what your schedule is. Hey, I'm cold calling from 12 to 3 o'clock today. Do not bother me unless they're like the house is burning down or something like that. If you don't schedule, it doesn't exist. Be honest in the comments right now. Who actually schedules their day? I know some of you are at work and you can't do it, but without a schedule, it's not going to work. JC, the chat's working just fine. So it's just the truth. If you guys don't have your schedule blotted out, guess what? It will be filled out for you by a series of events you have no control over. That's the key. If it's scheduled, I focus on what I need to get done and I stop worrying about what everybody else wants to get done. Do I still have people coming at me left and right? Absolutely. But I prioritize what I need to get done because I came up with a plan. I created a schedule to consistently get there. And guys, here's what I did. Once you have that stuff, it just comes down to execution. This is the sleepy, boring part of wholesaling that nobody wants to talk to you. No coaching programs. Well, I'm sure a few of them teach it to us. You have to execute. If you say you're going to do 200 cold calls and you can't execute the 200 cold calls, there's nothing I can say to you to make you get it done. But we all have, some of us create plans. All of us have ideas. Very few of us have schedule. And when it comes to execution, it even gets worse. Period. Guys, those who execute make millions and millions of dollars. It's not just in real estate and wholesaling. It's throughout all types of industries. Those that can execute get stuff done. We've already seen examples when people can't execute and they lollygag, like certain government officials. They want to know why they don't get reelected because what did you do in the last 4 years? Like, if anything, if you're a politician, you have to execute more than anybody. I know they're good at lying. It's what they do the best. So here's the one plan. You can't just execute a plan. So here's the real thing is, how do I get to point A to point B in wholesaling? From I'm excited about it, I have a plan, and how do I get it done? How do I do execution? Here's the secret. Number one, stop being super scared. What should scare you is in the place you are right now. It should horrify you. Don't wait to me till 12 years and you just break and go, screw it. I don't give a crap what happens. I'm getting this done. So I'm hopefully inspiring. I don't care what age you are. I don't care if you're 15. I don't care if you're 78. Here's the secret I'm going to add to it. A plan plus a schedule plus execution times speed equals massive results. Now, what do I mean by speed? You guys are going to have a tendency, like you were taught by your school teachers, your college professors, and your parents, to just give it a try, Rick. See if you like it. If you enter wholesaling with that attitude, you're done. If you're a person that's taken 3 years to try to even write your first contract, it means you're taking too long. So here's the secret sauce of how people get through it. You're all going to go through the journey of wholesaling, meaning you're going to have to go through the experience of talking to thousands and thousands of sellers. Now, if you do it for free with me and Zach, or you pay somebody $100,000, here's the secret. You're all going through the same journey. The price tag is the sweat and blood and the hustle you're going to put into it. There's no way around this. You can't buy your way through it. In fact, the more money you have, the more at risk you are getting killed. Because if I can teach someone how to make money wholesaling with no money, I create monsters. Have people go, Rick, I got a couple $100,000 sitting around. I guarantee you're going to lose a couple $100,000 because you're lazy. However you got the money, I'm fine with it. But like, you can't buy your way through wholesaling. You have to do the work. And it's gradual. And as you get really good, you can teach other people to do the things that you've already mastered so you can multiply your time to get it done. Here's the problem is a lot of you guys dabble. You try. I'll think about it. And it takes you forever to get through the process. So here's what I've learned from highly successful people. Whenever they take on a new trait like wholesaling, they go, listen, how can I take 10 years and cram it into one? Because that's what it's going to take. It's the absolute truth. You're going to have to fail a lot. You are going to fail a lot. In fact, when you fail, you just learn to keep getting back up on your feet and keep moving forward. A lot of times when you guys fail, you pull back, you start to procrastinate, you start questioning everything you did. And you're just reverting back to your old self that put you in this mess to begin with. So that first 2 years, if you can cram like 10 years, call it 20 years, whatever you want. How do you do it? You just keep going forward. Every time you make a mistake, you keep going forward. That's why we have you start out on government list. We have you do driving for dollars because you're not ready for paid ads because you don't have enough experience doing it. It's the truth. You ever had that uncle or father that tells you the truth and it hurts right here? Like, but at the end you go, you know what? He loves me enough to tell me the truth. Most of these coaches, once you pay your $5,000, $10,000 fee, they're going to tell you, you got to do pay per lead. You got to do pay per click. You got to do this. Oh, you can't cold call. You can't do the stuff I did when I started out because God forbid it's going to be outlawed. Do you know that same crap was spun to me in 2003? In fact, there's a new South Carolina law comes out. And if you read the entire print, it tells you the exception on wholesaling. You can sell your contract. But everybody wants to misconstrue it and put fear and people are saying, oh, well, wholesaling is going to be banned in 2 years. This same stuff was fed to me in 2003. Your constitutional right says the states cannot interfere. And the reality is there's eventually going to have to be someone who's attacked on this. There's going to have to be a defense put forward. And that will be the future case law. Now, I don't want anyone to be made example. Like, I think we're all on the same page of that. If I could find a way to get wholesalers together that truly support this industry to raise some money to have a legal defense so we can go on the attack, because I'm telling you, one case law, we could crush every one of these states. But I got a feeling in the next 4 years, this isn't going to be a big issue because you are federally protected right now. Yes, states can go after you for ridiculous marketing laws, and you just need to be aware of them. But here's the differences. If I'm telling you not to be scared and to run into the things that fear you the most, that's how you attack anyone who questions if wholesaling is banned or not. Not run away, get your license, do something else. That's the same attitude why people fail in life. And I don't want anyone to do that. Listen, we all want wholesaling to be legal and ready for us, but we have to do it. So at the end of the day, once you do all the stuff I have right here on the screen, do it with speed. Do not dabble. Do not try. Do not attempt. Do not talk to your wife. Do not talk to your mother. Do it. Just get it done. Just get through it. My first 2 years, I wish I recorded every event. You would have laughed your butt off. It was painful. You know what I told Zach? Get through your first 2 years. He got it. The faster you accelerate it, the more you learn, the more you grow your own confidence, and the more money you make. See, that's the secret. But you got to move. You can't just sit here. I'm going to make 200 phone calls. I made 20 and they got rejected. Come on, man. Like, toughen up. Go get some David Goggins videos, man. Because at the end of the day, this is what you get. Discipline's what makes you perform and execute. This is why nobody can execute, because they don't understand how discipline works. How do I get discipline? I've already told you. You plan, you schedule, you execute, and you multiply it by your speed of being able to learn and just get excited about it and just keep failing forward. That's it. Once you get discipline, you're going to have to force it in the beginning. This is called willpower. But after 30 days, it's just like, if I don't work out 5 or 6 days a week, I feel odd. I feel like something's not right in my life. Why? Because I don't like working out. It's not the funnest, but it does allow me a release. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do any of that stuff. And I have an ADHD personality. So it's a personal release for me. If not, I get antsy. I get all fidgety. I'm ADHD. I should do an entire podcast on ADHD because God knows I know every symptom. But the reality is I take my weakness and I turn it into a strength. I know by going through the pain and the agony of working out, I get a benefit. I feel better. I sleep better. I can go fishing anytime I want, well into my 80s and 90s, which is my plan. I can do activities. I can work out with my son. I can go on camping trips with my daughter. And that's why I do it. But I'm willing to make that the pain in the short term for the long-term gain. And that's all discipline is about. In fact, most of you have been advised that discipline is, I got to go to the principal's office to get disciplined. Back in school, I got paddled. And they say, listen, we either call your mother or paddle you. I go, just beat my behind because you could never beat it as hard as my mom would, especially my dad. And now I look forward, and discipline is so rare. Everybody wants the benefit of today. They want instant gratification, and wholesaling is no different. There's a lot of people on TikTok and stuff. They just want instant gratification. I'm here to tell you, you're not going to get it. And if you can adhere to executing a plan, the mother of all skills, you can make a ton of money in wholesaling. And I'm going to leave you at that. So let's jump over to comments, see if I can answer any questions here. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. So here's a good question. He says, why 90 days? Should we start with a 30? Because 30 days is very short. Like what are you really going to get done in 30 days? 90 days at least gives you some vision to plan. Now, I always teach you about wholesaling to be a marathon wholesaler. What's a marathon wholesaler? It's simple. A marathon wholesaler gets 1% better every day. A sprinter wants to look good. They do the Heisman Trophy. I like Travis Hunter, but your ego is getting the best of you. People do not want to vote when you keep posing for the Heisman. Don't get me wrong. You're very skilled, but you haven't learned at a young age. Your ego will cost you a lot. And I believe there's people that will penalize him for his cockiness. Now, don't get me wrong. He one hell of an athlete, but you have to understand is a sprinter always wants to look good in the short term. They never last. If you don't believe me, some of the biggest wholesalers, some of the biggest wholesaling companies, they were the greatest and the biggest. They told you that they're gone. Why? Ego's too big. They brought in 1 billion different people to run the company, and they lost what made them successful. So at the end of the day, you have to understand, you have to go past 30 days. It's just not a long enough vision. You can have a 30-day plan, but you need to have a 90-day plan as well, because 90 days is enough time to go, I understand to get to 90 days, I'm going to have to figure out how to discipline myself. I'm going to have to plan. I'm going to have to schedule and I have to execute. 30 days you can get through on willpower alone. You can't get through 90 days on willpower. I don't care what you say. I guess if you had to, you could, but so Isaac says, how to kill your ego? Just shut your mouth. Easiest way. One of the worst things you guys do is you argue on the internet. A true sign of wisdom is someone who doesn't argue on the internet. Number one, who's going to win the argument? You and the entire social media, it's like a joke. So remember, the ego is all about giving you temporary satisfaction, but usually it's going to cause you a lot of long-term pain. You burn a lot of bridges by enacting your ego. Remember, you can't learn anything when your ego's going, and you can't listen. It's physically impossible. Go ahead and try it. I'm telling you. Okay, let me just jump through some random questions here. I appreciate all the comments. It's good to. How long has this been live? Well, it's recorded, but me and Zach do everything live. By the way, I don't own a teleprompter. I just think it's so funny when there's people who brag about the teleprompters. I understand there's a purpose for teleprompters. I believe they're built for politicians, but we can't even tell who's real or fake because everything's so pitch perfect and everything's just I don't understand that. Okay, I'm just going to let that one go. You just keep my mouth. See, by keeping your mouth shut, you stay out of trouble. I believe that you can have a plan, but like it just seems like if you have something putting up words on the screen, this is how we came up with the fake politicians. We all know how that worked out. Rick is the Wikipedia of wholesaling. It's a good one. So what else we got here? Okay, so let's go over a couple things real quick. And what was I going to say? The question is, somebody asked me about the Discord. Go over to Zach Discord. This is actually one of the coolest communities I've seen. And from what I can tell with the Discord is there is so much business going on in there. Unless you've fallen off the face of the earth, check out X Leads. You now get unlimited skip tracing with all the plans. Absolutely insane value. And guys, we are just scraping the iceberg. Check it out at xleads.com. We would love to have you. By the way, we have a support team. You can call Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We have an email address and we have a separate billing department because we listen to what you guys want with the frustration of all your other companies. And we are getting staffed up more and more each and every day to take on these things. And if you want to learn more about X Leads, go to xleads.com, or you can go to X Leads YouTube channel where you have tutorials. And remember, guys, you get a ninja mode inside there. It is a high-level CRM, and it is included for free. Most of you guys are paying for this. I don't know why you would pay for these services. If you want AI bots, AI conversation, if you want the most advanced CRM that will automate your follow-ups, check it out at xleads.com. Check us out on zachdiscord.com. And if you are with Flip with Rick, by the way, if you do the X plan through X Leads, you get Flip with Rick, which means you get access to me and Zach 4 times a week live, which we have a community which we support for wholesaling and strictly wholesaling, or really any type of real estate leads derived from there. And you also get access to our direct messaging. So we help you work on current deals. And we don't have assistants or anyone else. That me and Zach are very adamant that we do it ourselves. It does take a lot of time, but we believe in what we do. And the X Leads is perfect because we can train you all on one platform without going to 7 different companies, 7 different charges. If you're tired of it, here's a really cool part. If you guys have like an electronic signing system that you pay $40 to $75 a month, it's all included in xleads.com free. You get it with your account. So what you're paying just on your DocuSign, you could probably do X Leads, the $49 plan, if you prepay it for the year, and it's included. It just pays for itself. Think about that. Everything is in one platform. It's awesome, and I love doing it. So check us out there, guys. And as usual, if you got value from today's live stream, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we want to get the people the truth about wholesaling. We want to give you options. Listen, if you like today's information, do me a favor. Come up with a plan, create a schedule, and master the mother of all skills, which is execution. Multiply that by speed, and you will knock it out of the park in wholesaling. So, guys, I appreciate. I will see you guys on Thursday. If you're on Flip with Rick Plus, give me about 5 minutes. I will switch us over on that stream. And if you're in Flip with Rick Plus, we extend the stream and we give you custom time to work together so we can solve problems as a community. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you Thursday. See you.